But it does suck that that's true. That Zero Visions is the best one blue mana cantrip in Modern, because it's kind of a shitty one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I kind of like it if you're trying to play a fair game, because it, like I said, it does utilize some sort of card advantage, or it does give you some sort of card advantage, right?
Wait, what?
Serum Visions.
Gives you a card advantage? How?
Well, if you're putting cards that you don't, like Scrying.
That doesn't give you a card advantage. It gives you a quality advantage, like the quality of your cards goes up.
Well, because you can look at it like this, like if like when you're scrying, if one of those cards is a card, the card on top is a card that you don't want, like a land,
right.
when you're looking for a threat, you would have normally drawn that, and you would have wasted a turn. So
you're still not gaining an actual card advantage.
You're not gaining an actual card, but it's worth something, and I usually like using card advantage as just like a unit of measurement. So you'd be saying that it's like 1.3 cards, you know?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. I don't really think about it like that, but I understand what you're saying.
It's kind of like with Jace, or the Architect of Thought, how like every time you use his -2 ability, the average amount of cards that you're getting is 1.85. Because you're generally choosing the pile with 2, unless the pile with 1 is just awesome.
Oh, right.
Because if it's just like detention sphere, land, you're like, I'll take a detention sphere and a land.
That's not really fair. Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but like the one example is there's two ways to measure card advantage. You either have quantity of cards or you have a quality of cards, right? So we can talk about like, well, it increases the quality of your hand, which it will do, because you'll put the shitty cards that you don't need on the bottom. They'll draw a land, you're going to draw something substantive, right?
Right.
But there's also a kind of card advantage which is just quantity, which is like, I've seen more of my deck, I have more cards than you do.
Right, which is why you wouldn't say that like Preordain gives you 2 cards, because that's absolutely not true.
Correct. And that's why I wouldn't even say like Jace, I don't know, Jace is a little bit of both. You're right. He both increases the quality of your cards and also the quantity.
Yeah, I mean, Jace is a very...
He's technically quality, right?
You'd have to analyze that for... You could write a fucking, short essay on that.
Jace's ability is quite complicated.
Actually, Patrick Chapin, when he did write an article on Jace and how his every situation of when you use his -2 and what kind of card advantage that generates for you, it's an interesting article. Which is actually right before he wrote that article, people started forwarding Jaces in all their decks, and it got really popular and spiked up to like 45, 50, and then immediately plummeted back down because everyone realized Sphinx's Revelation is just better, which is totally true. Yeah,
but Sphinx's Revelation is a good example of like traditional card advantage, right?
Yeah, like it's easy to tell how many cards you're getting out of that card.
But one that might be hard is like, is it Charm? Is it Charm is actually card disadvantage. I spent a card, and I have less cards in my hand.
Right, and that's where you would bring card quality into as a measurement, because... And also, the draw 2, discard 2, like, let's say you're playing a fair deck. Like, the bug deck that I have up is a fair deck, right? I'm not trying to do anything...
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to play Jund. And, now the Bloodbraid is banned. But Izzet Charm later on in the game does an awesome job in fair decks, because when you have those stupid lands sitting in your hand late game that you just don't need, and you can filter those for cards, like that at that point, those cards that you're getting off the top by using its draw 2 discard 2 ability are worth a full card to me, because it's replacing something that's currently worth nothing. So it's a hole.
I agree, but you're still
You're right. I mean, like
traditional card advantage.
Yeah, it's never quite exactly one, but it can be so close to one that you just consider it a card. Yeah. Okay. In certain situations, like if you're playing Rug, and like you have enough islands in play to mind control anything with your Vidalcan Shackles, so the island in your hand is not relevant ever. And then you Izzet Charm and draw 2, discard 2, and you draw like, a breeding pool and a Tarmogoyf, and then pitch the island in the breeding pool, and then play your Tarmogoyf. That right there, Izzet Charm just gave you an extra card.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's like point 99999, but...
If you say so. I still wouldn't say give you an extra card.
I know. You fucking chess players in your math.
Yeah, I'm a technical guy.
I'm more of a statistician. I like to round when it's so goddamn close that it doesn't matter. That just, you would place a bet on that every single... You know, when you know what I mean? Like,
but you're not even rounding. You're just exaggerating.
Right, but if...
Look, I understand what you're saying, man, and I agree with your point. I agree with the Is It Charm's strength there. I just disagree with how you're describing it. You know? I totally agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
It's an essential card, but it increases the quality of your hand. You had 2 lands in your hand, and it is a charm.
You're totally right, yeah.
And now you have 2 different things in your hand that are better than lands, but you didn't go up in card advantage. You know, just quality of your hand went up.
But it's interesting to understand concepts like that, even in other games besides Magic.
Like?
I don't know. I mean, poker, like understanding your odds. That's why I love poker.
Right, but it's okay. That's a perfect example. Have you played a 5-card draw?
Yes.
So you play 5-card draw. I'm allowed to turn in any number of cards and get that amount of cards back, right?
Right.
That's not card advantage. It's not like, I turn in 2 cards and I get 4 cards back, and then I get to make the best hand out of my, 7 cards. So I would win that like 9 times out of 10, right? Because I have card advantage.
Yeah, you're cycling cards is what you're doing.
Exactly. It lets you cycle. Which is still, you're right, it's a very powerful effect, but you do spend a card for it. You spent the Is It Charm, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's what 5-card draw is it's everyone has the same 52-card deck. You draw 5 cards, and then for 0 mana you get to cycle any amount of them at the same time, and then draw more.
But see, we always forget about the Is It Charm itself, because what you're actually doing in our example is you get your 5-card hand, and you're trading in, say, 3, but you're only getting 2 back.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because you spent the Is It Charm to do it. So it's actually kind of card disadvantage in the traditional sense, but it's card advantage in the quality of your cards, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very tricky card, but I think it's great. I think Is It Charm's a great card in Modern.
And the cool thing about Is It Charm is, and this goes back to when it's so damn close that it doesn't matter, like the 99%. Like if you're playing it in a combo deck, which is where I think it shines the best, because in a combo deck you're just digging for like a 2-piece combo, like Deceiver Exarch and Splinter Twin, or like even just Scape Shift, or any piece of the combo of whatever deck it's in. As long as you find your combo and win the game, card advantage is completely irrelevant.
Agreed.
And that's the strength of combo decks, is card advantage is a huge aspect of winning Magic, but combo decks make that...
Quality. The quality is more
quality is much more important.
Yeah, if you just need 1 card. You need the right card at the right time, the game's over.
Right, if you're playing a combo deck and you have 27 cards in hand and you don't have the second piece to your combo or third piece to your combo or whatever, it's a useless hand.
Yep.
Like, that will never win the game.
Yep. That's a good point.
Yeah, so and I...
not to mention the 2 damage to a creature is always relevant.
It's interesting how you have those different perspectives, though, Because, like, a control deck would definitely view it more on your side of, like, it's not card advantage because I'm not getting more cards, whereas a combo deck's like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm winning the game right now. But if control deck just keeps drawing more and more counterspells and keeps making it more and more impossible for you to win the game, then, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that you say that, though. It's like, even combo decks, if you're spending cards out of your hand to try and find the cards you need, eventually your hand size is diminishing, right? So, like, if they're running in counter spells, you're reducing the number of cards in your hand that they need to counter. I don't know. I understand, though, what you're saying, and I agree with it. Like, you're basically just seeing more of your deck, which is always a powerful effect in every format.
Yeah, no matter what you're playing. Even if you were playing aggro, that would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to see as much of your deck as possible.
I know, which is why Tibble... goddamn tricky.
He is, man. He is. If it wasn't random, bro...
I know. If it wasn't random, he would be so good, though. He would make the biggest step from just unplayable to fucking amazing.
Dude, I don't even know that. Yeah, even if it was like a heavier penalty, if it was more like a Bizarre Baghdad type effect, where you're like, okay, Tibble, I have to draw 1 but discard 2. That would, even then, Tybalt would be fucking amazing. You'd be like, dude, this card is the best. If I have to choose two...
And discard them?
Yeah.
Imagine a dredge deck. Just discard my hand. Get out of here.
Like, Tybalt will be so strong, right? But the fact that it's random is, like, just...